All right, so for this part of the section, I just want to introduce some additional HTML tags, some advanced that you should know. Since we have the basic down, some extra that you could use and you could know. It's just nice to know them, that they exist, because you never know when you might need them. All right, so the first one I'll be introducing is tables in HTML. I'm going to make some addition, put some addition to our portfolio page. I'm going to put a table here, right here. So let's just get to it. So this is the file I currently have open, and this is our table section right here. This is our table section right here. This is it, right? This is our about section right here. As you can see here, this is it here. So I'm just quickly going to remove this article tag, space it, and I'm going to call it skills table, because the table is going to be about skills. I'm going to be using the table to showcase our skills. So this is how, okay, my AI is at play again. That's just the beauty of AI. So first of all, I'm going to give it a section, because it's a skill section. Remember what I said about SEO and accessibility. This is a new section we're adding. So you're going to give it a section tag. This is the opening tag and a closing tag. Okay. So let's give it H2. So you can see that the AI is already autocomplete. It's suggesting for me, and that's one of the beauty of when you are coding with AI. Let me just move on to it. So an H2, since it's a subheading, this is our primary heading here, H1. Now, when it comes to SEO practice, generally speaking, it is recommended you have one H1 per page. So it's recommended you have one H1 per page, generally speaking. If you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have said one H1 per page. That's all you need. I would have said it's a must. But now things are changing a little bit. You can decide to have an H1 within a section, or within an article tag. If this was an article, I can have an H1 here, but that H1 it would only pertain to this section. So there are circumstances where you might have an H1 tag within a section, but generally when it comes to your bare bone, your outer HTML, your root body page, you should have one H1. So a good rule of thumb is just that, to have one H1 per page. So I hope that was understood. So now back to our table. Let me give it skill set. So if we go back, see that we have a new section here. So I'm going to put a table under skill set. Now this is how the table works in HTML. First of all, we have an opening table tag, and we're going to close it. So this is our opening, this is our closing. Then you are going to have a T head and a T body. So the T head is for the heading part of the table, and the T body is for what comes. So the T head is for the heading row, and the T body is for everything afterwards. I will show you that in a minute. So T body, opening and closing. So this is the heading row. You know what, I'm just going to click on tab, since my AI is suggesting some things, and I will now explain what it's doing. So clicking on tab. So now this is the heading row. That's what T head stands for, and T body is for the body rows. Now this tag here is the main content of the table, is the structure of the table. This TR stands for row. This TH is for header column, for the heading column. So TR is for a row. So TL stands for the table row, and TH stands for the heading column. That's the heading cell. For table, on the other hand, for the body on the other hand, we don't use TH. We use TD. So that's just the difference between the TH and the T head and the T body. The T body, we use TL for the row and the TH for the heading cells. So heading only applies in the T head. For the body, we have the remaining content of the table, and they don't use heading. We use TD for that. I'll show you in a minute. So if I refresh, you can see that. Okay, let me add a border. This is our table. Now I'm going to. This is not usually how I would add a border to a table. I'm just doing that for the sake of now because we are still in HTML. They are better, maybe not better, but more preferred way of doing it via CSS. But let me just use that because we have not entered into CSS right now. So I'm going to use the border. So if I should refresh this, you will see the table, the border has come up. Now this is the row, the TR, that's the row, and then the cells, the column in the cells are the TH. Now TH is only unique to the T head tag, because the T head stands for the heading, the table heading. Everything that is in the body does not use TH. We use TD for that. So let me show that right now. So our first row, I'm not going to use what the AI is showing because I want you to see how I'm doing it. So TR stands for the row. That's our first row in the body section. Then for the first column, it's going to be TD. Let me say HTML. So our first column is HTML. Then I'm going to copy this. For the second column. For the third column. So the second column, I'm going to make it CSS. And the third column, let me say JavaScript. So you can see what's happening now. You can see that these ones, they are not bold, but the one that is up is bold. So that's one of the stylings of the TH, because it stands for the cell heading. So it will be bold because it's an heading. Then for the body part, TD, that's the body column. It does not need to be bold. So I hope we understand what I'm trying to say. This represents the row. This is a second row, which is TL. Then in the heading part, we use TH to signify cell heading. Then everything under the body does not require, we don't use TH, we use TD for the body part of things. So alright, I hope that was very easy to understand. Now this is what I want to do now. For the skill sets, I'm going to put 3 skills under the front end, 3 skills under the back end, and then 3 skills under the database. So let's just get to that now. This is our first row. I'm going to make another row. Now I'm going to do this via a keyboard shortcut, shift command, and I think that's a mistake. Okay, it's not, it's shift. Okay, I think it's shift alt and down. Yes, shift alt and down. Or if you are using a MacBook, it's shift option down, option down. But on Windows, it's shift alt down. You can also configure your shortcuts through the settings. Alright, so now this is our second row. I'm going to make a third row again. So now we have 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. The front end, this is the front end heading. These are the column under the front end, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to change it. The first one will be HTML, the second one will be CSS, and the third one would be JavaScript. Yeah. Then under the backend, I'm going to be adding programming languages like Python, Go, and PHP. So let's see what we have now. So on the front end we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. On the back end we have Python, Go, and PHP. So I hope you're understanding what is happening now. This is the table. We start with a table first of all. Opening and closing tag. We give it a border of 1. There are other ways you can do this. Then we have a T head and a T body. The T head stands for the heading row, and the T body is for the content of the table. Now, for a row, when you want to put a row in a table, you use a TR tag. That's the opening and closing of a TR tag. Then for the table cells, we use either TD or TH. TH are for cells in the head, while TDs are for cells in the body. And then each TD corresponds to a TD. So this first one corresponds to the first TD on the first row, the second TD, the first TD on the second row, the first TD on the third row. Same thing with this backend. It corresponds with this, and corresponds with that. So for the database, let's now input database skill set. So MongoDB is a database. MongoDB, a database. What other database do I know? MySQL, and then we could use SQLite, or maybe PostgresDB. I don't know if I spelled that right, but all right. So I hope that makes sense to you. So this is our skill set now. I've added a skill set section, and this is how a table works in HTML. All right. So the next thing I want to discuss about is the picture attribute, the picture tag, HTML tag. And I'm going to use this image here to demonstrate. Okay, this is the image here, the web blog here. This is it here. Now we already know that in order to embed images on a site, we need to use the image tag, which is self-closing. Like I said, it does not need a closing tag. It is self-closing. But now the picture tag adds a little bit different, in the sense that it allows us to display elements, display images based on certain conditions. Let me come again. The image tag is for embedding images. The picture tag allows us to pick certain images to display certain images based on the condition that we set for ourselves. Now let me demonstrate that for you. All right. So first of all, I'm going to move this image tag into the picture element, and you will see that nothing changes at first. Nothing changes, because now this image tag is now going to be acting as a fallback for browsers that don't support the picture element. Yes, because when you are developing sites, as a developer, you have to make sure that what you are doing works on most, if not all, most browsers, especially browsers that are common, that have a large market cap, like Chrome. Chrome is popular, Firefox and the likes. So this image tag is now acting as a fallback right now. Then what we can now do is that I can now include a source. First of all, let me first show you what my file looks like. This was our original images. I've added 3 more files to it. Now I'm going to link to this file now, this particular image, this web screen now. Web screen, source. And we will now use a source set, not a source set. We use source for images, but for when we are using picture tag, we will use a source set. Then I'm going to use web screen dot png. All right, let's now see what happens. Okay, I guess I didn't do that finish. All right, I'm not sure what happened there. Let me go back. Okay, web screens, not screen. Yep. And voila, you can see. So what happens is that the browser would consider the first option, the one at the top level. If it does not work, it will go to the next one and the next one. So we can have multiple sources here. Yeah, you understand, if we want to, but that's not what I'm trying to do now. What I want to show you is that we can decide which image we want to show based on our logic. For instance, now I can decide that I want this particular image to show on mobile screens using media. So I would now pick a minimum or maximum width. As you can see, the AI is doing that for me already, but I'm not going to go with minimum. I'm going to go with max. I'm going to go with max width, not minimum width. Uh, 600. So the screen width for most mobile phones is 600 pixels. So I'm going to go with 600 pixels. Now, this is what is going to happen now. I've told you that on mobile phones, I want this image to show. So the max width, that is from 0 to 600 pixels. On mobile phones, I want this image to show. Then on screens that are bigger than 600 pixels, maybe tablets, laptops, and TV screens, it can now fall back to this. So now I'm not deciding the image I want to show per screen. Let's see what happens now. When I refresh it now, it gives me this, because obviously I'm on a laptop, but there's a way we can test out different screens on your laptop. You're going to right click, go to inspect. Then you see this icon here. You should see it on a Chrome screen. Toggle device toolbar. So this is a mobile. This is 320. This is 370, 43. So you can see this is tablet view. So we can decide which one we want to go with. So you see that when I enter mobile view, this is a mobile screen. You can even be more specific and pick the phone you want to use, like use the iPhone 12 screen width. You can see that on the iPhone, on mobile phones like iPhone 12, that falls within the, remember we said max width, that is from 0 to 600. If I say min width 600, that means I'm saying from 600 and above. If I were to say 600 min width, That min width would mean that from screens that are 600 and above, that is tablet and laptop, show me this. Then on mobile screen, show me this. But I'm using max width now, which means that from 0 pixels to 600, which is where which is where the mobile phone range is. Show me this screen. Show me this web screen, which is what it's doing now. So you can see how powerful that is. If I go to laptop view, let me refresh this. Okay, it defaults back to this. So let me close out this now. So you can see how powerful that is, what the picture tag can do. It allows us to display a particular screen based on logic. Another thing you can do now, let me comment this. Let me copy this and comment this out. You can also decide to pick a format. Now this as you can see, this image is in PNG. Let me just click on tab. It's in PNG. So I can decide that I want this image to view, this PNG format to view first. And if the browser that my users are using does not support PNG, which is unlikely, actually almost all browsers support PNG, but let's just assume that some browsers don't support PNG, I can tell it to first, okay, image.png. I can tell it to first, okay, my AI is doing that for me already. Okay, let me just go with the flow and click on tab. All right, so I can tell you that, okay, display PNG, but if the browser does not support PNG, come down and display the JPG version. Right now I don't have a JPEG version. I'm just using PNG, but let's just assume that I have this same image, a JPEG version. It will be here. So if a user visits my site and they don't have a PNG, their browser does not support PNG, the browser would automatically go back to the next best thing, which is JPEG, and it will display this. Now most browsers actually support PNG. So in to be more reasonable, what you would see is something like WebP. Let's say I have a WebP images. Now the reason why I would use a WebP images is that they are lighter. WebP and AVIF. If you know anything about images and performance, you know that these two formats are light. They are very light. I can have the same image in AVIF for 2 kilobytes, and in PNG that same image can be something like 200 kilobytes. So you can see that image formats like AVIF and WebP, they are good at compression, but not a lot of browsers support them. Most browsers support PNG and JPEG. So typically what developers do is that in order for your site to be fast, we use AVIF and JPEG formats, but we put these ones as backup in case the browser does not support AVIF or JPEG. It will default to PNG, and if it does not support PNG, which is unlikely because most browsers, this is the two common image formats we know, let's just assume that it does not support it, to fall back to JPEG. And if for whatever reason it does not support JPEG, which is very unlikely as well, this is now our own fallback. Yeah, so you can see how powerful the picture element is. It allows us to decide which image we want to display based on certain conditions on the screen width and the type. I can even combine them. Yes, I can decide to combine this. I can decide to combine this and put it here. Let me first cancel this. So can you guess what this does? If you were to guess, what would that tell you? That when the screen is 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 within the 600, that's mobile range, display a type of AVIF, and if it does not support AVIF at the 600 width, it will now go down to the next condition. So you can set different conditions. You can set different conditions here on how you want your images to be displayed. You can decide that, okay, I want, on the mobile version, I want a very short image to be displayed. Maybe because of the screen is short, you want it to be zoomed out. And then on a laptop version, you want a full image to be displayed. So we can do that with the picture element tag. That's just how powerful it is. So that's all on the picture element tag. I hope you understood that. If you have any question, please don't shy away from the comment section. Do well to ask. Alright, so for the next thing I want to discuss about, it's how we can embed or display pictures and audio in our how we can display videos and audio on our website. So let's get to that. So I want to put a video just below this about me section, a video and audio here. So let's look for the about me. This is the about me section right now. So this is how a video tag works when we are embedding videos. We use the video tag, opening and closing. Remember, opening and closing always. Then controls. This controls gives our users control over the audio. Say your fast forward, your play, pause, and everything. It allows your users to control how the video goes. If we decide to remove that, you would not see what our user, those visiting our site, would not be able to control how the video goes. It will just be playing. So it's common in advertisement sites. When you go to advertise sites where they display a video for you and you notice that you cannot pause it and or something like that, that's what they are doing. They are removing the controls because they want you to see the video to the end. So I'm going to demonstrate that soon. So opening tag and closing tag. Then secondly, like the picture element, we are going to use a source which is self-closing. Yes, which is self-closing. But unlike the picture element, we are using an SRC to target our video, but in the picture element we use a source set, SRC set. So that's the difference. Because in the video element, we are not using a fallback. We're not using a fallback. We are just putting what we want to use. We don't need to display videos for different screens. A video is a video. You can't do that with the video tag. You can't decide to use one video for the way you would do it with a picture tag. You can't do that here. The only thing you can do here is that you can decide on the format, whether it be MP4, MOV, or any other video format you want to use. You can only decide on the format. That's the only thing you can do with the source. So let's get to that. SRC. This is my video over here, 1444, something like that. So 144. So 1444. Type. It's a video. So this is a meme naming convention. You would first give the general file name if it's an image or a video, then give the format of the file you want to embed. In my case here, it's an MP4. This is the file, an MP4. Now, why this thing I did here, /, what it means is that search in the current folder I'm inside. So this is my index.jx.html. This is it here. It is in this folder. So within this folder, search for what I'm looking for, which is 1444. So it helps me provoke the IntelliSense in VS Code, so it can showcase the numerous file there. So what I'm talking about is this. If for whatever reasons it does not come up by itself, I would just click the dot slash, so it will just bring it up. It provokes it to come out, and I can just search for the file I'm looking for, which is this. So that's that. So when I refresh it, so you can see that this is the file here. This is the file here. Sorry about the size. We are getting to we are still in HTML. When we get to CSS, I will show you how to size a lot of things in CSS. But be that as it may, we can still change the width in the video tag. So I will just say width, the width is equal to let's give it a 200 first. When we refresh it, so you can see it. It has been refreshed. It has been refreshed. So when I click play, the video automatically start playing. Now this video is there is no sound in this video. That's why you're not hearing anything. There's no sound in this video. So you can see the difference between the video element and the picture element. The video element, we can't pick for different screen size, but we can pick for the different format we want to use. So say I have the same video in a move format. I can decide to tell the browser to play the first one. If that does not work, then play the second one. The reason why we do this kind of thing is that I'm not much of a video person, but I can use the picture to explain to you. Like I said, now in this case we use AVIF. Now AVIF has a very high quality compression, in the sense that images that are in AVIF are usually very small, but it's a relatively new technology, so not most browsers support it. So when a user comes to my site, I tell the browser to display an AVIF first. So when the user comes, the website, it does not have to download a huge amount of image. It is a very small image. When it's in AVIF format, it is small. And so with that said, the website will be fast, and my users wouldn't have to spend a lot of data bytes downloading images. Do you understand? They don't have to spend much data downloading huge images. But if for whatever reasons my users are using an old browser that does not support AVIF yet, you can go to the next best thing, which is JPEG. JPEG is larger than AVIF, but it is broadly supported. I don't think there's no any reasonable browser. In fact, JPEG is very supported. There's no browser that does not support JPEG in this area. So, but the images that are in JPEG or PNG, they are large compared to AVIF, which has a solid compression. So that is why we use source. Display this one first. If for whatever reasons our user browser can't support this one, then default to the next one. And if they cannot support this one for whatever reasons, I don't know, default to the next one. So that is how the logic goes. So that's the same logic we are applying here. We pick the best format for the browser to display. If for whatever reasons it cannot work, we go to a more stable format, a popularly viable format. That's how it works. So next, let's go into let's embed an audio file on our website. Now, audio file work very similar to video. First of all, your audio tag, and controls. Yeah, I don't know if I explained these controls, but just take a look at something now. Now, the controls, we have play, pause, and everything. if I decide to remove this, and refresh, it's gone. Okay, our audio has popped up, but it's gone. You can see that it's gone. I can decide to tell this video to be playing. I think that should be autoplay. Okay, I don't think it's autoplay. Okay, I think I'm supposed to add muted. Yes, that's it. Because most browser would not allow you to allow a video to autoplay if it's not muted. Even though this video does not have a sound, you still have to specify that it's muted. So what I'm trying to show you here is that I removed the controls and made it autoplay on its own. So that's the function of the video controls. So the same applies for audio. Okay, I'm going to click on tab since my AI is giving me a suggestion already. Click on tab. So the same concept, source, SRC. You target your audio file. In this case, my audio file is upbeat, yeah, and it's an MP3 file, and this, I don't have an OGG file, but you get the idea. If this does not work, do this, and if this does not work for whatever reasons, you can always put a fallback message. Your browser, okay, does not support audio elements, just as that's shown. So it does this. If this does not work, the logic goes down to this. If this does not work, then it displays this. The same goes for the video element. So now let's see what we have in the browser right now. Alright, so our audio file is live. Let's try it out. So I hope you can hear that. So it's our audio file. That's basically it. And that's how you embed video and audio file in your HTML with HTML elements. So that's about that. Alright, so next we'll be discussing about iframes. Iframes are used for embedding content from other websites. It can be used to embed content from other websites, or it can be used to embed a whole website on its own into your own website. For instance, we can use it to embed YouTube videos. We could use it to embed Google Map. In fact, I'm going to try that right now. I'm going to put a Google Map under the contact me section. So let's search for a map on Disneyland map. You can search for anywhere you want. You would love to search. Let's a Google Map. This is a Google Map now. So you can do this, then share location, then embed the map. So this is how an iframe works. This is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag, but nothing goes in between, unlike many other tags. It just has a bunch of coordinates and link to what you are linking. So let's just copy the HTML tag, and I'm going to close this up. So we are back in here, and I would embed it under the contact section, under this go. So copy and paste, and let's see what we have when we refresh it. This is our map. I think I would like this go to be on the after it. So this is our map right here. So we've embedded a Google map. Secondly, let's go to YouTube. Okay, YouTube, my channel, videos. Let's try to embed one of these videos. Okay, let me use this short one. Share and embed. You're embedding. Copy this whole thing. I'm copying it, and let me embed it in front of the iPhone. I am the map. So I've copied and pasted it right there. You can see that there is already a width and a height, so it's already fixed. I can decide to adjust this if I want to. You can adjust the width to take up the whole screen or however you want it to be. So going back to our portfolio, I'm going to close this up and I refresh it. This is our video. Now I know that everything is not perfectly styled. I'm just trying to show you the structure of HTML and some things I would love you to know. When we get to the CSS part, we are going to start cleaning all these things up to make it more neat and presentable. But for now, I want you to know some. You don't have to know, like I said earlier, you don't have to know the syntax, but just know that some things do exist that you can use. Because even if you don't know the syntax, so far as you know that there's something you can use to embed images, you can always reach out to your AI to remind you, or Google. But nowadays it's usually faster to ask your AI, so you can go about your business. So that's all about iframes and embedding content from other websites. All right, so now I want to discuss on the inputs element. I want to add to this form the things that I didn't dive into the last time we spoke. So I said I stopped at we have inputs, the text types, and the text area. We also have the select. Let me use a div, then tab, the select. We don't need this for now. Alright, we don't need that for now. So then option. Okay, now you can see that my AI is already doing that for me. So the select is a drop down that is for creating drop down to give you options that you want to do. Let me just click on tab. Okay, we don't need this for now. This is for sending data to the backend. All right, so I can ask them what services do you need? Okay, then okay, select opening tag and closing tag. Then what do you want to be the options? The first one you see is what will be displayed. What services do you need? Then the other options are front end, back end, and database. So when you refresh this, you will see what services do you need, front end, back end, and database. So that's how we use the select tag. The next one I want to discuss is the row, the checkbox and radio inputs. So input. Now when I do this, you can see that this is not my AI doing this. This is actually VS Code doing this. So you can see that I'm giving a list of options on the various types of inputs. So you can see you can just decide to play with this and just touch it and see what they do. So this is the checkbox input. When I click on it, it automatically gives me a checkbox. So I'm going to try something else as well. The radio input. The radio should be somewhere here. Yeah. So you can see what's happening here. If I decide to refresh this, you can see I have a checkbox and there's a radio. So you can pair this with a list. Maybe you have a list of things to do. You tell them to choose a list. If I decide to pair this now, I say div. Let me bring this out. div charges. Let me just do something like charges, and I have a text box that gives $15, $20. Now this would be inside a label. These charges would be inside a label. So it will be inside a label. And if I refresh this, you can see that you can decide to, basically this is just me testing it out, but it's for a list. If you have a list of things to do, maybe, or what budget are you looking for, so it's for a list, and radio is for a one-time thing. When you are filling form, you must have come across this too. So this is me showing you how to use them. This is me showing you how to use them. So these are your checkbox, and this is your radio button. Then one more thing before I move on to the next thing. I'm trying as much as possible to not allow this video to be long. So I'm going to touch on the date input as well. Let me put that in a separate div. Now this div is just for organization. It's not compulsory, just to make it stand on its own line. So input, and this is the date time. There's a date. I'm going to pick the date and save. And let's see what we have here. That is our date input. So so there are numerous types of inputs. Even me myself, there are some I don't know how to use them, but when I need to use them, I know what to do. That's what web development is all about. You can't know everything, but it's even more easier than now that we have. It's more easier now that we have AI to get up and running with these things. You can't know everything, but it's good to know that something exists, so that when you need it, you can always do your research on how to go about it. But just have it down that this exists. There's a tool for this thing. There's an input for this and that. You should know that they exist, so that when you need them, you can draw it from your tool belt. But you don't have to know everything. Actually, it's not a must you know everything. Then lastly, before I round this up, I'm going to show you two more elements, that just for the sake of knowing them. The details element and the progress element. So let's just have a little bit of fun with them. Okay, let me add a section here to signify another section, and I can say this one, let me say FAQ. Then let me use, first of all, look at this is our FAQ session. Then you're going to use the details. Okay, so we're going to use the details. Okay, you can see that my AI has autocomplete already. Details. Maybe I have to turn this AI off so it does not confuse us. So, but you can see the opening tag and the closing tag. Then the summary. Okay, I'm just going to at this point just tab it. Use AI. Don't fight it. Just use it. Use it. It's nice if you are. It makes you more productive. So this is the detail, and this is the summary. So we use this for interactive to create accordions. Accordions are typically what you see in FAQ pages. That you have one information out. Then when you click on it, you see what is inside. So let me explain. So this is it. Well, when you click on it, you see what is inside. Then you can drop down. Now when we get to CSS, definitely we will see something more nice, more beautiful than this. But I'm just telling you, this is an example of what we call an accordion. This is how we set it up for drop downs. What's your name? You click on it, and what you have under is what shows up, and that is that. So the next thing I want to do is before we round up, I want to quickly show you the progress. The progress 10, the progress HTML element. Then we have a value 630, and we put a max of 100. So what the progress do is exactly what the name shows. It helps to portray progress. It helps to it represents it shows you a progress of something. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So this is it. It helps us to portray the progress of maybe something is loading, the state of something, the progress of a state of something, or on our website, maybe data fetching or the like. So since I put a max value of 30 and I put a value of a max of 30 and a value of 30, this is what is represented now. If I push this up to 90, this is what we see here. So that's basically it on how we do the progress. Now go through my LinkedIn article. I'm going to drop the link in this video under the description section of this video. Go through it. I listed out a lot of HTML tags which I didn't talk about here, but there's quite a lot of them out there. But we don't need to know everything. Like I've said before, we don't need to know everything. You just need to know the basics. But I just want to show you that this do exist, just in case sometime somewhere you find yourself in need of a functionality you are trying to implement. You can just snap and remember that, okay, there's something that can do this. Even if you don't remember the syntax, you know it exists, and because you know it exists, you can find tools to get it, either on searching for it or using your AI, and that's it. So please remember to subscribe and like this video as well. Please go through the LinkedIn article. I talked about a lot of them there which I didn't show here, but I hope you can understand how, at this point, you can understand how HTML works, and please put in a lot of practice to perfect your use of this element. Thank you and bye.